campers! Today we're going to have a little chat about uni and more specifically packing for uni. Having spent 3 years packing for uni and now having to pack this year again to go back and do my masters, yeah, I know how stressful packing for uni can be. The constant worries of wondering if you've forgotten something important and then actually getting to uni and realising that you've forgotten something like a tin opener or to pack your cutlery. Been there, done that. So here are my top tips for packing for uni. Don't overpack. It sounds really simple, but you really don't need to take the kitchen sink with you to uni. It's like the bare minimum will do. The first year I went to Portsmouth, I literally tried to pack my whole room into the back of my car and take it down, and 99% of the stuff I don't think I actually used. So yeah, pack light and only take like the stuff you know you'll actually wear clothes wise. You don't need to take all your like summer stuff. So you don't need to be taking your whole like collection of DVDs or books. They're just going to clog up space, and if you're in halls for your first year or living in a small room in the house, then you're literally going to have no space for them. So you need to pack light and only take the essentials. You also don't need to be taking like your whole wardrobe with you. Just grab a Hoover bag and pack light basically. Chuck in the essentials and just chuck in what you know you're going to wear. It's winter. What do you usually wear in winter? If you know what you usually wear in winter, take that with you. You don't need to be taking your summer stuff. Like, what use are you going to have for like a bikini and a dress when it's like -20 outside? Have a list. The amount of times I have tried to pack for uni and failed and forgotten things and left things behind that I should have packed. Yeah, I didn't have a list, so don't try and wing it. Just write a list out beforehand of stuff that you know that you'll need when you're there. So obviously like clothes and laptop, chargers, because they're always the thing everybody forgets is chargers, and toothbrushes, unless you're going to buy a new one when you're down there. It helps so much with the packing, and then that way if you're ticking it off as you go along, ticking it off as you pack it and then ticking it off as it goes in like either your suitcase or in the car, then you know you've got what you need. If you can buy it at uni, buy it at uni. You don't need to be like going to do a stationery shop at down Wilko literally the day before you're due to go to uni. It's like, buy that stuff when you get there. It's just going to clog up space in your suitcases or in the back of your car otherwise. And if you're moving in 2 weeks before you start uni anyway, go out, do some exploring and get your stuff then. Most places with universities have better deals on stationery anyway to attract the students, so why waste time buying it all beforehand? It's only going to clog up space. Plus, when you're moving in and if you've got to lug stuff upstairs, you really don't want to be lugging heavy stuff like refill pads and a bag full of pens and whatever all the way up the stairs, because it just doesn't work. Get a lockbox. When I went to uni, I literally just bought a small little blue cash box out of Wilko, and that was just to put things in like the paperwork for my car and my passport and keys and stuff like spare keys, and then that way all your valuables are secured. Check your insurance. For some people, they're covered by their family's home and contents insurance whilst they're away at uni. For some people, you need to buy it separately. It just depends on the value of items that you intend to take. So for example, if you're taking like a MacBook or something with you, you may need a separate insurance policy for that. It may not come under your parents' home insurance policy. And again, if you don't have a door that locks behind you, then perhaps you'll need a separate policy for that. A lot of stuff on home insurance policies is governed by how the different doors lock, so it's worth having a chat with your parents' insurance company or having a look for student insurers to make sure that you've got the right kind of cover in case you do get burglarised. That's a word, isn't it? If you do get burgled. Budget for food. When you get your student loan first dropped into your bank account, it looks like a whole load of money and instantly you think, well, what could I spend this on? Firstly, you need to spend it on your rent, your bills and your food. Otherwise, how else can you function? And by food, I don't mean this is your going out nightclub budget. I mean this is the stuff that you take to Tesco or Morrison's or Asda or Sainsbury's or Lidl or Aldi or any other kind of supermarket and buy stuff for you to actually eat every day. I found that when I was at uni, I'd do like a big £40 shop at the start of each term, and then I'd just like go and buy the essentials and top it up. So I'd spend about between £5 and £10 a week topping it up. So you kind of like need to budget for that. A lot of people budget about £30–40 a week for food. Might be a bit excessive, but it's worth checking out the prices of stuff in your local area. So it just depends on what sort of supermarket you've got as well, because obviously supermarkets vary in price by where you are and by what supermarket you're going to. So check the prices and budget accordingly. There's no good putting a tenner down a week for your food budget and then realising that you live in the middle of central London and a tenner doesn't really get you very far. You can't survive on stuff like meal deals for a week or a month. Prepare for homesickness. Yes, it happens, and yes, at the start of every single year I would get homesick. And even in my final year, when I'd been in Portsmouth for 3 years, I still got homesick. It's normal, it happens. Prepare for it, basically. A lot of student unions and universities have support networks, support groups that you can go to if you are feeling homesick. But yeah, basically just, if you feel like you need to have a good cry because you do feel homesick, go and have a good cry and then sleep on it, and the next morning you'll feel an awful lot better. Been there, did that. Literally the first night I spent alone in my first student house, oh god, woke up at 3 AM, was like, I don't know where I am, and had the whole thing, I want to go home. And so glad I stayed though. I stuck it out in the end, and the next morning I was pretty much completely fine. It does also take a while to get your bearings in various student towns. When I first moved to Portsmouth, I had no idea which way was up. It's like I had no bearings. I couldn't even tell you where north was, where south was. If people were like, yeah, where's the sea? I don't know, it could be anywhere. Literally, like where I lived in Portsmouth for the first year, the Tesco was literally around the corner and I couldn't find my way home from the Tesco. I was like, I actually lost, I have no bearings. Thank God for Google Maps. Go out and explore the local area. If you've got a free weekend or you've moved in a couple of weeks earlier, go and have a mooch around, go and have a look around what's in the local area. Make sure you know where stuff is, like post offices, shops, petrol stations if you've got a car, where all your uni buildings are, where the pubs, bars, clubs are if that's where you want to go, where the library is, where the student union building is, where various supermarkets and stuff are, where you can go for help, where the police station is, hospital, fire, yeah, you get the idea. Basically, go and have a wander around, find out what's around local, find out a bit about the local area so you know where everything is. Find out as well where your university has its own like GP service on the campus and go and register with them. You never know, you might need them. If you can, leave your expensive stuff at home. You don't need to be lugging around like your games consoles, your nice fresh telly, expensive things like MacBooks, because they're just going to either break or go missing. And to be quite honest, basic works just as well as the expensive. Unless like you desperately need it, so for example you're doing like a computer science degree and you need a great big huge gaming tower computer, leave it at home. It's just going to clog up space and literally you don't need it. In halls you have a room the size of a cupboard, so imagine trying to set up a PC gaming system, sim racing system or whatever in a cupboard. It's not going to work, is it? Just be mindful of the space that you've got to live in and buy stuff to fit it basically. Don't go overboard on the decorations. You'll just end up looking it all back at the end of the year and it will just sit in your parents' house for ages and ages, and then it might go back to uni with you, it might not, but it just clutters up everywhere. So yeah, okay, if it looks nice, do you really need stuff like candle holders? Do you really need cacti? Do you really need houseplants that you're invariably going to kill off anyway? Literally, if you need a pen pot, use an old mug. Use what you've got around your house that you don't really use anymore and just upcycle it or recycle it into something else. Remember to budget for your washing. Sounds simple, but the amount of people that forget. In haul, prices will vary between how much it costs you to put on a wash cycle or a drying cycle, so make sure you've allocated that into your budget for the week, because you'll need it. You can't keep walking around in the same clothes that you've worn for weeks and weeks and weeks and they're all filthy and stink, because it's horrible. Just budget for it. If you can, find out where the local laundrette is. If your student halls is quite busy for washing, you might get it washed quicker at a laundrette. And don't take it home for mum at the weekend, because she won't thank you for that. Plan your visits home around your work schedule. Don't plan for a visit home when you know you've got deadlines and stuff coming up, because you won't be able to work at home. Simple as. I always found it difficult to work at home and found that working at halls was nice and easy. It put me in a better mindset to sit and work at uni rather than bring it all home and try and cram in like a 3,000 word essay in between like Christmas meals or somebody's birthday. So plan your visits around your work deadlines and work schedules, and come home when your workload's a bit lighter. It's okay not to like going out clubbing or getting drunk or in spoons every Friday, Saturday, I don't know, every single day of the week. Some people, yeah, they do like going out, some people don't. So don't feel pressured by your flatmates or your new uni friends to go out if it's not your thing. Just find something that is your thing. There's lots of societies that student unions have. Go and find one of those. Find a club in the local area. But you don't always have to go out, do socials, take part in society nights out if that's just not your thing. Don't be afraid to admit that it's not your thing, because clubbing and socialising in nightclubs and pubs and things isn't for everybody. Some of us like our quiet. Remember to have an emergency budget. Sounds ridiculous, but you never know, because emergencies do happen. Stuff breaks, basically. Plan for it. Have a contingency budget so that if stuff breaks or you end up if stuff breaks and you need to have it repaired, you've got the money there to pay for it to have it repaired, and you've also got the money to hire out a laptop or something in the meantime. Unfortunately, in adult life, stuff does go wrong quite frequently, but don't panic about it. Those are my top tips for starting uni. The list of tips I could have given you is an awful lot longer, but I just kept it to the ones that I felt were kind of key, especially for new starters. And obviously, a lot of the uni stuff will be quite different now with the whole COVID situation going on, so also make sure that you check your guidelines for COVID with your university, because it's going to vary place by place. So if you like this video, don't forget to give me a little thumbs up. Don't forget to say hi in the comments, and if you'd like to see more of this kind of thing and some more other kinds of things like face masks and baking and God knows what else, don't forget to click the subscribe button. See you all soon. Bye.